Okay, I've got two beat up old Boxsters here, and 709 there I've used for a couple different competitions and just playing around with. And today what I'm going to do is transfer some parts from that one over to this one so that I can use it in a Rallycross event coming up in the beginning of March. 709 there it's been a fun car, but the front struts are completely shot. The engine seized up at the last Rallycross I was at right when I finished up, so it's going to need an engine swap before it really goes anywhere. And this one here is a 2004. I got it for $2,500 and the seller never came through with a title for it, so I started parting it out, and coming up to this next Rallycross I decided that I really needed a car that I could beat on, not really worry about, so that's why I've ended up deciding on this car. It runs and drives fine. Interior was partly ripped out, and it's got high miles on it, and generally just not in very good shape. So looking forward to having it out there at the Rallycross. It should run fine, and should be a fun car for the day. And after that, I'll decide if I'm still parting it or what else to do with it. I might actually get a title with it someday, but that's not a high priority right now. I've got plenty of other cars around if I need to go for a drive. So I've got to get this bumper attached a little bit better. I'm planning to swap over the wheels and tires from the other car. Yesterday I pulled the seat out of the other one and stuck it in this nice little Sparco seat. Not really a racing seat, but it does the job. When I got this, it didn't have a key, so I pulled out all the steering ignition and steering lock stuff and replaced it with a full set of engine computer, key fob, key, and the control box under the seat for the immobilizer. Replaced all that, and little catch I've got with that is that I replaced it with one from a Porsche 996, and so it's set up for either a 3.6 or a 3.8 liter engine, and this actually has a 2.7 liter engine in it. I've found that the 996s have a bigger intake tube, and so this has to try to compensate the air-fuel mixture without really knowing how much air is coming into it. Driving around the block, it seems fine. We'll see how that goes once I get it running more. I might put a bigger tube in there. I've got a few around, and that would probably fix any issues preemptively that it may have. 709's just been sitting for months. What I'm going to do today is take the hard top off of this and stick it onto that, and in the process take off this nice 2004 top and put it in storage until I put it on another car. So that's the plan. Other than that, a couple things to lighten it up. I'm going to take these door panels off. They're in rough shape anyways. Decided I might as well keep the carpet, air conditioning, all that. I don't have a whole lot of time to do all this anyways. Other than that, just get the car in as good a shape as I can in time for the event. Okay, starting out today, I'm removing the top. I'm going to go ahead and pull off the top along with the frame that supports it. This is 04, so it's got the factory glass rear window. Probably going to use it on another car eventually. I've already taken the transmissions out that drive the top, along with the lift arm, so this is basically a manual top right now. But in addition to that, you can see there's a hole right there where a bolt was, another one forward, and another one up higher right over there. Pull those 3 bolts out on each side, and the top can lift off the car with the frame at that point once you've undone the latch up in the front. Another thing I do to make that easier is remove this carpet trim piece here. It's got one screw, which is right there, Phillips head screw, and then there's a nut you can remove with an 8mm wrench right there. After that, you lift this whole piece upward and pull it back, or actually forward, and it should come off. There are some plastic tabs that hold it in place. Just be careful you don't break those. They do get brittle with age. With this trim piece removed, the next thing I did was just go ahead and lift the top and start to position this so it'll fit out. And then I remembered I need to take the top portion of the seat belt and disconnect that just for that little bit more clearance to get the top to clear everything. Also, I'd recommend going ahead and pulling the clamshell off. It's not that hard to do. You can just disconnect that and this lower connection right here, and the whole thing will just lift right off. I'm still lazy enough though, I'm not going to do that. I'm planning anyways on pulling the top off with that clamshell still installed. I'll probably regret that. After that, you can lift the whole top off fairly easily. Just be careful not to scratch the paint on the side as it comes out. Best if you have a partner to help you lift it. I'll work on pulling this hard top off. Probably get my wife out here to help me lift it and move it over to the other car, because I don't want to damage my good hard top. But what I got to make sure I do is transfer the spin lock portion that's in here to make sure I can lock the top down on the other car. To do that, I can pull out this bolt and try to wrestle the receiving piece for the top out of there, or just take this entire piece here off and transfer it to the other car, which is what I'll probably do. I realized that before I put the hard top on, it'd be good if I come up with a solution for the mass airflow sensor. That's the stock one, and yes, this engine is filthy. I don't know if I've ever even had the cover off up until now. But anyways, the issue I have on the Porsche 996, which the engine computer for this car came from, it's got a bigger tube there. So you've got a larger diameter tube that the airflow is being measured in. So the calculation I expect is going to be a little bit off when I run in this. It probably can compensate for some of it, but it would be better if I go ahead and get the correct size tube. So over here I have what I think is the correct size tube, and I'm playing around with just kind of hacking it by cutting here, putting this section in. It's going to measure the airflow going past there in the larger tube, and then I can go ahead and put the rest of the intake on the other end. Probably cut it here and stuff it inside that. That's my plan. I'm going to get a look at it and see if it works. Okay, I've modified the intake, put a larger tube in there for the mass airflow sensor. Just put a cut-off mass airflow sensor in there just to block off the hole. Don't think I've got any vacuum leaks. A little bit of time to warm up. A little bit of time for the throttle and computer to adapt. Nice and smooth. It's got a good idle. I think that's going to work. Alright, now as the sun sets slowly in the west, I have the hard top now on the 2004 model. I've transferred that soft top onto this car, and everything's good.